Discover the secrets and curiosities of Portugal, the country where the sun goes down. Did you know that Portugal is much more than just a tourist destination with golden beaches and a warm climate? This European country hides a cultural, historical, and natural wealth that many are unaware of, and that will probably surprise you. Can you imagine that in Portugal you can count more than 365 ways to prepare codfish? And did you know that there is a tradition that has endured for centuries, such as the famous tiles, which adorn almost every corner of the country? If you want to discover all the secrets and curiosities that Portugal has to offer, stay with us. Do you dare to get to know the country where the sun sets? Are you ready to be surprised with facts you probably never heard before? Here we go. Portugal, with its rich history, dazzling landscapes, and vibrant culture, has been a fascinating destination for travelers from all over the world. From the sunny shores of the Algarve to the historic streets of Lisbon and Porto, the country has captivated visitors. But beyond its landscapes and monuments, there are a number of facts and curiosities about Portugal that many people don't know, and that reveal much more about this charming corner of Europe. If you have ever dreamed of visiting the country where the sun sets, or if you have already done so, this tour of some of its most intriguing features will surprise you. Let's start with a fact that might seem trivial, but is of fundamental importance. The name Portugal comes from the city of Porto. In the Middle Ages, the region of Porto was known as Portugal, from which the name of the country was derived. Portugal's history is deeply linked to its coast, and the maritime explorations of its navigators in the 15th and 16th centuries marked the beginning of the expansion of the Portuguese Empire. Portugal was one of the first colonial powers, and its influence spread to continents such as Africa, Asia, and America. Among the most important discoveries were the routes to India, Brazil, and the Far East. One of the aspects that most distinguishes Portugal is its climate. Unlike most countries in Europe, where the seasons vary sharply, Portugal enjoys a Mediterranean climate, making it an ideal tourist destination all year round. The Algarve, a region in southern Portugal, is famous for its golden beaches and cliffs, and has earned a reputation as one of the sunniest places in Europe. With average annual temperatures hovering around 17 degrees Celsius, the country is a haven for those looking to escape the cold European winter. Another fascinating aspect of Portugal is its gastronomic heritage. Cod, for example, is the national dish, and it is estimated that there are more than 365 ways to prepare it, one for each day of the year. In addition, port wine is known throughout the world, and the Douro wine region, with its terraces embedded in the mountain slopes, produces some of the best wines on the planet. The country is also a major producer of olive oil, and it is not uncommon for Portuguese tables to serve crusty bread accompanied by a drizzle of this golden oil. Portugal is also home to one of the most beautiful and richest languages in the world, Portuguese. With more than 220 million speakers worldwide, Portuguese is the sixth most widely spoken language. It is spoken in countries on every continent, including Brazil, Angola, Mozambique, and Cape Verde. Portuguese literature has produced some of the greatest writers in history, such as Fernando Pessoa, José Saramago, and Luís de Camões, whose works continue to be read and studied around the world. In addition, the country boasts one of the world's most unique musical traditions, the fado. This melancholic genre, which has its roots in the neighborhoods of Lisbon, expresses feelings of saudade, a Portuguese word that has no exact translation but refers to a sense of deep longing or nostalgia. Listening to a live fado in a traditional tavern is an unforgettable experience, as the music is performed with a passion and sensitivity that is unique. When talking about Portugal, one cannot overlook its architecture. From the majestic Hieronymites monastery in Lisbon to the picturesque villages of the Azores, the country is full of architectural gems. One of the most characteristic styles is Manueline, a type of Portuguese architecture that combines Gothic with Renaissance and Baroque elements. The famous Vasco da Gama Bridge in Lisbon is another example of Portuguese architectural innovation, with its imposing structure spanning the Tagus River, one of the largest in Europe. Portugal also has an important historical legacy, and its capital, Lisbon, is one of the oldest cities in Europe, with more than 3,000 years of history. The city has witnessed Roman invasion, Moorish occupation, and Christian rule. Today, the city combines the ancient with the modern, with traditional neighborhoods such as Alfama and Baixa, contrasting with modern contemporary art museums and vibrant nightlife. Portuguese islands, such as Madeira and the Azores, are true natural paradises. Madeira, often called the island of eternal spring, has a tropical climate and lush vegetation. The Azores, meanwhile, is a volcanic archipelago that is home to crystal-clear lakes, rugged mountains, and hot springs. These destinations are ideal for nature lovers and outdoor sports enthusiasts, from hiking to whale watching, a popular activity in the region. In terms of population, Portugal has one of the lowest birth rates in Europe, which has led to an aging population. However, despite these demographic challenges, the country has managed to maintain its political and economic stability, making it one of the safest countries in Europe. In fact, in 2021, the Global Peace Index ranked Portugal as the third most peaceful country in the world, behind only Iceland and New Zealand. A curious fact is that Portugal is one of the countries with the highest life expectancy in Europe, with an average of 82 years, reflecting the quality of life and general well-being of its population. In addition, the healthcare system in Portugal is recognized for its efficiency and accessibility, and the country has managed to maintain a balance between public and private healthcare. Portugal is also a major destination for sports enthusiasts, especially soccer fans. The country has produced some of the world's most outstanding footballers, such as Cristiano Ronaldo, one of the best players in the history of the sport. National and international competitions, such as the Portuguese League and the national soccer team, always capture the attention of millions of fans. However, in addition to soccer, the country is a center of other sporting activities, such as surfing, due to its impressive waves, especially on the Nazar coast, famous for having some of the biggest waves on the planet. In the field of science and technology, Portugal has made significant advances in recent years. The country has become a benchmark in renewable energy, especially wind and solar power. In 2016, Portugal achieved a historic feat by generating more than 100% of its electricity from renewable sources for several consecutive days, placing it as one of the world leaders in sustainability. Furthermore, in the field of scientific research, Portuguese universities such as the University of Lisbon and the University of Porto are at the forefront of research in biotechnology, physics, and environmental sciences. Tourism in Portugal has grown significantly in recent decades, and the country has established itself as one of the most popular destinations in Europe. In 2019, Portugal welcomed more than 20 million tourists, an impressive figure for a country with a population of only 10 million. The natural beauty, the hospitality of its people, and the quality of its tourism services have made Portugal a coveted location for travelers from all over the world. While Portugal is known for its historical, cultural, and natural wealth, we cannot forget its future. The country has managed to overcome the economic difficulties of recent years and is positioning itself as a benchmark for innovation, sustainability, and quality of life. As it moves forward in modernizing its infrastructure and promoting its digital economy, Portugal continues to be a country in constant evolution, maintaining a perfect balance between respect for its past and adaptation to modern times. In short, Portugal is much more than a tourist destination. It's a country with a rich history, a vibrant culture, breathtaking landscapes, and welcoming people. From its sun-drenched beaches to its vineyard-covered mountains, from its delicious food to its technological innovations, Portugal offers something for everyone. And best of all, it remains a place full of surprises, with facts and curiosities that we have yet to fully discover. As the Portuguese say, the sun never really sets in their country, it simply dips below the horizon to make way for a new day. Portugal is a country of great cultural richness, where every corner tells a story that has left its mark on humanity. One of Portugal's most peculiar traditions is the use of tiles, those colorful ceramics that adorn buildings, streets, palaces, and train stations. Tiles originated in the Muslim influence and were perfected during the Renaissance. Today, tiles not only embellish the facades of houses, but also tell stories, often depicting scenes from daily life, mythologies, or geometric patterns. This tradition is found everywhere, from big cities to small towns, and is considered an art form in itself. As for gastronomy, one of Portugal's best-kept secrets is its pastries. The famous pastéis de nata or pastéis de Belém, a small cream cake wrapped in a crispy base, are a national icon. These sweets originated in Lisbon, in the Jerónimos monastery, and have transcended the country's borders, becoming an emblem of Portuguese culture. In addition to these delicious pastries, pão de ló, a spongy sponge cake, and queijo de serra, a cured and creamy cheese, are just some of the culinary delights that make Portuguese gastronomy one of the most appetizing in Europe. Architecture in Portugal has a fascinating peculiarity, the way it blends different styles over time. In Lisbon, for example, you can see buildings that show influences from Baroque, Modernism, and even Art Deco, all on the same street. The fact that many of these buildings were rebuilt after the devastating earthquake of 1755 gives the city a peculiar air, as if it were a mixture of old and new living together in perfect harmony. In the smaller villages, the style of the country houses is characterized by red ceramic roofs and white walls, creating a picturesque atmosphere that looks like something out of a fairy tale. In terms of festivities, Portugal has a vibrant festive life that reflects the mixture of its religious and popular traditions. The best-known festivities are those of São João and Porto, where the streets are filled with people singing, dancing, and setting off fireworks. In Lisbon, the Feast of Santo Antonio, the city's patron saint, is another of the most outstanding celebrations, and during the night, neighbors gather in the streets to share grilled sardines and dance to the rhythm of fado. Each region has its own celebrations, but what unites them all is the sense of community and the joy of sharing special moments with friends and family. Portugal is also a country of musicians and poets. In addition to fado, another important genre of Portuguese music is watercress singing, a traditional form of singing originating in the Azores Islands. This style is characterized by its high-pitched, emotional laments, which often accompany fishing rituals or moments of farewell. In poetry, Fernando Pessoa stands out as one of the greatest poets of the 20th century, creating works that explore the identity, soul, and contradictions of the human being. His ability to create characters and heteronyms, literary personalities with their own stories and styles, makes him a genius of world literature. Another cultural curiosity of Portugal is its fondness for cafes, which are the heart of social life in many cities. In Lisbon and Porto, you can find cafes that look like something out of another era, with marble, mirrors, and high ceilings, where customers not only enjoy a coffee, but also chat for hours. These places have become meeting points where ideas, debates, and even cultural movements take shape, as was the case of the famous A Brasileira Café in Lisbon, which was frequented by many of the city's intellectuals. Portugal's literary heritage is not limited to poets and novelists, but also extends to the architecture of books, as evidenced by the famous Lelo bookshop in Porto, which is considered one of the most beautiful in the world. This bookstore, with its central staircase and Art Nouveau decor, has inspired writers such as J.K. Rowling, who wrote part of the Harry Potter saga in Porto. The store is not only a place to buy books, but a work of art in itself, showing the deep connection between literature and architecture in Portuguese culture. In the Madeira Islands, the cultural tradition is marked by the art of embroidery. For centuries, the women of the island have hand-woven intricate patterns into fabrics that are sold as souvenirs or used in traditional dress. This art, which combines European and African techniques, is a testament to the skill and patience of Portuguese artisans, who have kept these techniques alive over the centuries. Madeiran embroidery is so well known that it has become an emblem of the island, and the finest pieces can become true collector's items. As far as popular beliefs are concerned, Portugal is a country where the mystical and the spiritual still play an important role in everyday life. Legends of fairies and witches, as well as superstitions about the stars and spirits, are common, especially in rural regions. For centuries, people have believed in the ability of people to heal through herbs or rituals, and there are still communities that follow these traditional uses, preserving a wisdom that has passed from generation to generation. One of the best-known legends is that of the Dama de Branco, a ghost that, according to the locals, wanders the lonely roads of the villages. Portugal is also a country where theater has a rich tradition, especially with the figure of the Comédia Portuguesa. This theatrical genre originated in the late 19th and early 20th centuries and is still performed in numerous theaters in Lisbon and Porto. The plays focus on everyday situations, but with a touch of acid humor that often criticizes social conventions. In the field of sports, in addition to soccer, surfing has gained great popularity on the coasts of Portugal. Nazar, in particular, is known worldwide for its gigantic waves, some up to 30 meters, which attract surfers from all over the world looking to dominate the sea. The Portuguese coast is ideal for surf lovers, with consistent waves all year round and a wide variety of conditions for all levels. In short, Portugal is a country full of contrasts, where ancient and modern meet with ease, and where every corner has a story to tell. Its culture is a mix of deep-rooted traditions and constant evolution, making it a fascinating place to explore and always discover something new. From the melancholic songs of Fathu to the Atlantic waves crashing on its shores, Portugal is a place that offers something special to all who choose to delve into its rich and unique identity. If you've been amazed by all that Portugal has to offer, imagine what we haven't explored yet. Don't forget to subscribe to our World in Evolution channel to keep discovering fascinating secrets of places, cultures, and curious facts from around the world. Also, if you want to keep learning and be part of a self-taught community, visit our website selfmatamillionaires.online, where you will find exclusive content to transform your life. Join us and don't miss the evolution of knowledge.